Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies. Good afternoon. I am Styrofoam Ralph. This is Cups and the Gang live from the motherfucking hot box, man. This is the Thursday afternoon lunchbox. You know, I got my dog with me, El Residente San Jose, currently in transit right now. What is going on, my brother?
Nothing much, man. Just out here grabbing some lunch. Just doing my thing, representing these streets, ducking the police.
Hell yeah. Always, always. So look, my dog. To today's topic, man. I was thinking to myself, and can you remember that Joe Montana was drafted?
Joe Montana was drafted, I want to say not 79. It was 79 or 80, but it was one of those two
I
years.
believe I believe it was 79. If you so basically throughout the 80s, throughout the 90s, early 2000s was a little shaky. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shout out to Jeff Garcia. But in the 2010s, Colin Kaepernick. What I'm getting at is throughout history, whenever the 49ers were able to field an above average quarterback, they have been a Super Bowl caliber team. My dog, lethal, bleed blue for the nation. What it do? So, 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 El Residente, my question is, do you feel like you have had consistency at the quarterback and the teams just weren't right, or it was just you've always had the teams, you just needed somebody to put it together?
We haven't always had the teams. The quarterback does matter a lot. Having consistent quality quarterback play will always be important. It will always matter. But to say something like we've always had teams that can win Super Bowls, nah. Um, some of the teams, honestly, that we had that were Super Bowl caliber that made the Super Bowl weren't necessarily Super Bowl caliber. That Garoppolo team was incredible in every position except for Jimmy Garoppolo.
I was about to say Jimmy G's dog shit. Y'all got
Right,
good. Like y'all was
and and honestly, we didn't go back. Every Super Bowl we lost, we didn't lose because of the quarterback. Not one of them. The Kaepernick Super Bowl we didn't lose because of the quarterback. The Garoppolo Super Bowl we didn't lose because of the quarterback, and the Brock Super Bowl we didn't lose because of the quarterback. Coaching factored in, limited snickets factored in, injuries factored in, defensive lapses at the very last second out of the blue factored in. But like the quarterback didn't cost us any of those Super Bowls, man. Well,
Hey Rez,
I'll go
can I
back
ask
to
you a question?
Garoppolo. One aside. The Garoppolo throw to Emmanuel Sanders that was wide open that had no business being overthrown. That's the one. Outside of that, yes. Go ahead.
My question to you is, do you think the NFL has a gripe with the 49ers for y'all to have gone to three Super Bowls and lost every single one, for y'all to stay underneath Cowboys and Steeler Nation?
I don't believe that.
Mm.
I don't believe that.
You don't think so?
Nah, I mean, if anything, I think that it's just that the other teams that we were facing were all more if there was a conspiracy to be found, right? It's in the Chiefs have played one of the has have the most holding penalties of any team in the league all year long in multiple seasons, and every year they won Super Bowl, they've had zero holding calls in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
That like stuff like that is like okay, all right. So miraculously, Nick Bosa can't get to the quarterback in the Super Bowl, like out of the blue, like that just randomly happens. Okay, that's odd. Like stuff like that, but I don't think it's because they're trying to keep it below the Cowboys. If you were to find a conspiracy, all of those teams that we played were more popular than our team. We played the Chiefs twice, and we know how they feel about Patrick Mahomes. And we lost to the Ravens,
And
and
at
we
the
know how they
Because
feel
time that
about the
y'all
that was
Ravens.
lost, at the
that
time
was
that
the
y'all
same
lost to the
time.
Ravens, It was Ray Lewis's like last year or some shit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're
Yeah.
trying to
And the
find
lights
narrative,
went
their
out.
narrative's defined. I'd have to lean on that. What was up?
And the lights went out.
But the lights
Hey,
went out.
the
When the lights
lights.
went out, we were down. When the lights
No,
went out,
y'all
we
were
were down.
up.
No, we were down. When
I thought y'all
Beyonce
were
played,
up.
no, we were down. And then they came out and ran the first ran the kickoff after halftime back for a
The
touchdown.
Kobe Jones jump.
Yeah. We were down.
I
Hey,
thought
pay
y'all were
attention,
up,
you
bro.
fuck.
I thought y'all were down, and then he ran that touchdown back. I got to go back and look at it. But
We were
but
down, bro. We were
but
down.
my
We were down going to halftime. We were down after the Detroit.
No,
Like we came
no.
back into that.
Why lethal leave? I was ready. God damn it.
but well, no, he should be coming right back. You know, his service be bad. But my whole thing, Jack, the whole reason we was on the 49ers was because I was telling him the every time that the 49ers have fielded an above average quarterback, they were in the Super Bowl, basically. Whether they won it
Okay.
or lost, every time they fielded an above average quarterback, they
There
won a
goes.
Super Bowl.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't knock Super Bowl losses. To me, if you lose in the Super Bowl, I don't think that makes you a loser. I don't think that makes your team ass. You still won your conference. You're still the top dog on your side. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I don't look at Super Bowl L's the same way I look at NBA Finals losses. And
It
I know
wasn't
some
just
people
that
probably
either,
think,
Yeah,
for
no,
real.
but I mean,
no, go ahead.
it also speaks to the fact that it also speaks to the fact that our team, like as a franchise, like we're a solid franchise. We put together good teams.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you went to the Super Bowl what, 3 times in what 8 years, something like that.
With three different quarterbacks.
3 different teams, to be honest.
Yeah, you know what I'm
That's
saying.
why.
So
So I was telling somebody, I might have told Cups or somebody. I was talking to somebody, and I said that even if Saquon like fumbles the bag or whatever, the Eagles lose this season, right? I wouldn't care because we just did that. We went to Super Bowl loss, then we went back, and it's like we go to 3 Super Bowls in 6 years. I'm not mad at that. Like I think that's dope. So
for
if we
sure.
have a down season or we don't go to the promised land this year, like I'm not gonna be upset about it.
Yeah, bro. Dallas will actually, and that's why the winning culture conversation just kind of triggered me so much because I'm like, bro, why are we having this conversation about Dallas having a winning culture? What have they done? When San Francisco hasn't
Yeah,
even
they don't.
go ahead.
Oh no, no, I was agreeing with you. They don't have a winning culture. What they do is they have a great regular season culture. And honestly,
Yeah,
the regular season just became a thing because, as we all know, the Cowboys used to be 8-8. That's what we knew they was going to do. 8-8.
Coach Clapp. Shout out to Coach Clapp.
You know.
You know what I'm saying?
And then Dak
So
came around after Tony Romo. You know, Tony Romo could get them dubs, but when he became injury prone, Dak got there, and then the team decided to become 11 and beyond every season. But even with those seasons, they've only been to the playoffs twice. That I can remember. I think Dak has only been to the playoffs twice, or maybe he's only won the playoff. He's only won one playoff game, and I think they've been in the playoffs 3 times total.
hold on, wait, no, because they lost to. I know they lost to a
They
49ers
lost to
team.
Green
I know
Bay.
they lost to a Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I know they lost to a
Yeah.
LA. Didn't they lose to a Rams team?
They lost to the. Didn't they lose to the Bucks also 1 year? Wasn't that
No, they
Tom
beat the
year?
Bucks.
That was the year they.
I must say, I
Yeah,
think that was the year they beat the
Okay,
Bucks.
okay,
nah, they beat the Bucks. That's the year that Dak beat Tom Brady.
okay.
That was Tom's Madden curse. He lost to the Cowboys.
Was he on
He was on the cover that year. He lost to the Cowboys. That was his curse.
as a Buccaneer? Oh yeah, with him and Mahomes. Yeah. So yeah, bro. Yeah. So I mean, Dallas definitely be taking slugs in the playoffs for sure. Dak been taking slugs in the playoffs for sure. We know Tony Romo used to take slugs in the playoffs. So yeah, it's like, bro, and even the 49ers, like I said, the 49ers haven't even pushed through, and they still done a lot more than Dallas has done in the
The
last 8
49ers
years.
have been
So I
relevant.
don't.
That's the whole thing. Like they've been relevant. The Cowboys are not relevant. The Cowboys only matter because they're the Cowboys. But if we're
Are
being
you
honest,
only are you only relevant? Are you only relevant when you consistently put up at least more than 11 wins a year?
no, you're relevant when you go deep in the playoffs every year. You need to at least be 2, 3 wins in the playoffs consistently. When you're getting bounced every time in the first round, that doesn't matter. You're nobody.
Hmm.
So what is Matt LaFleur?
I agree. People would look at Aaron Rodgers like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, Aaron Rodgers is like that. I just didn't want to say it about Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers was a dog, but it's like he's becoming a dickhead, and the way he walks around is he thinks because he's Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't have to get to know his teammates. Like in Green Bay, you can get away with that shit because you've been in Green Bay the whole time. But that bullshit he did with the Jets and what he's doing right now, it's like, damn, like now we get why Green Bay could only go so far because you actually didn't build rapport with your playmate. Like you don't care. You just know you that nigga and you can make anybody a good receiver, so you don't care. You genuinely don't care. You know what I mean? Like I don't need OTAs. I'm gonna throw the ball and you will catch it. Like I'm that good. But it doesn't work in the playoffs when y'all ain't really in sync and you ain't got nothing going on. That playoff game that they lost in the snow,
Come on,
Aaron Rodgers played like dog shit. All he had to do was run 6 yards for a touchdown, and he decided to try to make a miraculous throw. It was stupid.
come on, bro. And then losing to the 49ers.
He's not clutch. And Aaron Rodgers is arguably my favorite quarterback of all time. Arguably. But he's not clutch.
He's not. You know what I'm saying? But back to again, and also shit. The Eagles have done way more than the Cowboys have done recently. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, if we take every team and only go off of the year 2000 to right now, niggas would be upset with their teams for real. Like if we just go off the turn of the century, niggas would be mad at their teams for real.
definitely no bullshit. Hold on, here we go. Hey,
Because that's the thing that people don't want to talk about. You know,
so
people
now
don't like talking about the fact that
go ahead.
No, go
no,
no, go ahead, Jack.
I was
Go
gonna
ahead,
say
Jack.
niggas
Go
don't.
shit. Go ahead, talk some shit, bro. All you do is talk shit about nap
No,
time
I was just gonna
anyway.
say niggas just don't want to. Niggas don't want to acknowledge the fact that since the turn of the century, a lot of these classic teams that we love to suck off don't matter. In the last 25 years, if you're not a Patriot, if you're not an Eagle, if you're not a Colt, you know what I'm saying? You're not a Packer, a Steeler, you don't fucking matter.
I respect you. I respect you.
You just
I
don't.
respect you a little more because you included nap in there. Just a little more. Just a.
But shit, hold on. Well, my nigga 2-5 was like, the Colts ain't won nothing since 2009, and got the nerve to call people losers.
Hey, but from 2000 to 2009, actually, nah, you got to respect the Colts to 2014, 15. Really? Nah, and that's the thing. From 2000 to 2025, the Redskins have been dog shit. Don't matter who you put back there. Jason Campbell, doesn't matter. Donovan McNabb, some other random nigga that was a QB.
Shout out to Taylor Heineke, dog. Shout out to my dog Taylor Heineke, bro.
You
Shout
know
out
what I'm
to Kirk
saying?
Cousins too.
Random
Shout out to Kirk
niggas.
Cousins.
Like, what my man say? Who are these niggas? Them. Them. You a Redskin fan, you're happy today. Like that's where your happiness comes from. Today. You've never mattered. The Redskins have never mattered in 25 years. Never have anybody ever been like, damn dog, Redskins can do it this year. It's never happened until last year. It's never been a conversation. So if you're a Redskin fan, you gotta sit the fuck down.
That's tough.
You know what I mean? It's a fact. It's not that you're a Browns fan. You know what I'm saying? You've had 4 seasons where niggas was like, yeah,
So what about
yeah,
Panther? So
sit the fuck
what about
down.
Panther fans? about the Panther fans.
Panther fans have everything to say. We had Cam Newton with Jake Dale homie. The big homie Jake Dale, he took him there. So, a Panther fan has something to say
He did.
at the turn of the century. You cannot sit up here and shit on somebody who's a Panthers fan. You can't shit on a Cardinals fan. You really can't shit on Chiefs fans either because the Chiefs they haven't been dog shit. They just didn't win. I mean, but you can't say it was dog shit. There's a few teams out there where you just got to shut the fuck up at the turn. The 49ers can kick you in the face. Cowboys, you don't have shit to say. In 25 years, we've liked y'all in the regular season, but known you weren't going to do shit. You got to sit the fuck down.
Every
At one
time,
point in
man.
time, as a Saints fan, you can look at the Cowboys and tell you, hey, y'all ain't shit. Shut the fuck up. That ain't okay. I've never had to bow down to anybody as an Eagles fan. We had a down year a couple of times, but hey, since 2005, actually, since Donovan McNabb got there, we have ran shit at one point or another. So you just got to shut the fuck up and bow down to the wings. It is what it is. Everybody can't say that. I would give the Broncos some love too. Honestly, the Broncos, hey, Jake Plummer was doing work.
So what about the Bucks?
What about the Bucks? Sit the fuck down. Y'all did something in '02, and then Tom Brady got there. You don't matter. You got to sit the fuck down.
So Baker,
Well, I
so
mean,
Baker, so Baker don't get no love,
Rondé,
bro.
Rondé tough though.
You said what, Cubs?
I said Rondé's team was tough though.
That's what I was.
I know
Hey,
Rondé
I
Barber.
said you get love in 2002, but you got to sit the fuck down. The Bucks and the Raiders are the same team. You just got to shut the fuck up. Like you just got to shut up, dog.
No, I do feel you though, bro. They ain't do shit, bro. You
And
remember
and
Josh?
uh, and Rez, I don't know if you heard this, but the conversation is stemming from the last 25 years. From the turn of the century to right now, there's only about 6 teams that can say anything. Everybody else got to really shut the fuck up.
It's true.
It's true. It's very
You know what
true,
I'm
No,
bro.
saying?
look,
A
The
lot of
Cowboys
niggas,
can't say
a lot of
shit.
niggas is holding
I'm sorry
on.
that this turned into a Cowboys.
A lot of niggas holding on to 1976. You got to shut the fuck up. You weren't
Isn't
even
Buffalo?
alive.
Isn't Buffalo still holding on to the? Isn't Buffalo still holding on to the '90s?
Buffalo,
now
well,
Buffalo got to run.
since Josh Allen, they've had a good run. They've had a good run. So right now, the Bills can say some things, but Cincinnati,
They can say they
Cincinnati fans,
they can talk spicy to some people.
yeah, Cincinnati fans, they can say something. Carson Palmer and Ocho, they was doing work. You know what I'm saying?
All right, well, since we got the gang here and everybody got good connection right now, and we got 2-5 in the comments, here go. You know what I'm saying? The lunchbox special right now. I was watching a video this morning, and an interesting question had came about in the video, and the question was: is Jamar Chase already the best Bengals wide receiver?
No,
That's tough. That's tough because
that's
you know
disrespectful.
I fuck with Chad. I fuck with Chad. You know what I'm saying?
No,
AJ
no, he's
Green was
not better than
tough.
Ocho Cinco yet.
AJ Green was tough. AJ Green made Andy Dalton. AJ Green was the Bengals during that time. You know what I'm saying? But
I'll
I'm an
say I'll
LSU
say he
guy though.
passed up AJ Green. I'll give him that,
But you don't think
but
he
he's
passed
not
up
better than
Ocho yet?
Ocho.
You don't think he passed
Hell
up Ocho
no,
yet?
Somerville's own.
hell no.
Mm.
Niggas don't
Already
niggas
better
don't
than me.
realize how dope Ocho really was.
No,
Like,
I fuck with Ocho. No, don't get me wrong. I fuck with Chad Johnson and Chad Ocho Cinco. I fuck with both versions. You know what I'm saying? But if we
and
just
I
talking
think
like
Chad Johnson is better than Ocho Cinco. You know,
Chad Johnson was better than Ocho Cinco.
That's
I can agree with that one. I can agree with that one.
Ocho Cinco is the reason Chad Johnson is not a Hall of Famer. That's the hard part that you got to
Ooh.
wrap your mind around.
You think so?
Yep.
a little tough. That's a
That's what
little
no,
tough.
It
it's a
became more about
fact.
the show than the performance.
Once he
It
became
was more about the show than the performance.
right, once he became grilled up, blonde mohawk, Mr. T, and Ray Lewis had to correct that. He had to give him corrective surgery. Yeah, that's when he realized, like, oh shit, I might need to shut the fuck up now. Because at one point, my hands and my feet were doing all my talking, and then I would talk shit.
But at the
Then
same time,
it became a spectacle.
the Bengals won't win in like
Yeah,
well
he wanted to be a TO.
And
He was
and then
the
when T.O.
Bengals
got
won't
on his
win in during that
team,
time.
and made him Batman, made him Robin. When T.O. was past his prime, that was a
yeah.
problem.
Yeah, I also think in this conversation, like a lot of times we confuse best with greatest. Best best is more like, okay, you got the most talent, like you have the most ability to do, like it's you at your highest level. Are you better than everybody else ever played? That's one thing. Greatest and best are not the same thing. Greatest includes career.
I mean, yeah, but
Yeah.
Well, I
And
mean,
Jamar Chase
right
has not had a
now,
better
but
career than Chad Ochocinco.
I mean, right now we can't say that just because Chase is still young and he's just starting to really enter that mode.
but
So
he
it's
already
like,
been to a Super Bowl. That's something that the Bulldog nor Ocho Cinco has done.
But that has
Well, I
nothing to
mean,
do with the
going
wide receiver.
yeah, yeah, going to the Super Bowl doesn't make your career better than mine. You have a better accolade, but that's it. You have
Super Bowls
one
is not a wide
accolade that
receiver
you could,
stat.
yeah, you can put that accolade over me. You went to the Super
but
Bowl, but you lost.
at what point did
So
Chad
none of them
Johnson have
got
a
the
triple
triple
crown season?
crowns. I mean, he probably already tied Ocho Cinco for all pros already.
Do you think that Jamar Chase is a Hall of Famer right now?
Potential.
Not potential. Do you think yes or no?
I
Do you
think
think
he
he's a Hall
most
of Famer right
likely,
now?
if he retired right now, no.
Okay, Chad Ochocinco will get in the Hall of Fame.
He's not gonna get in the Hall of Fame.
I was about to say, are you saying that for sure?
Yes,
I don't think they're gonna put Chad in the Hall, bro. As much as
that Chad will get in.
as much as he might deserve to be in the Hall, I don't think they're gonna put him in the Hall.
Chad will get in. In time, Chad will get in. It'll take a while for him to get in, but he will get in.
If he hasn't got in now, when will he get in?
It took Art Monk forever to get in.
Bro, they gonna put Larry Fitzgerald in before they put Chad Johnson in.
Larry Fitzgerald is better than Chad Johnson.
CJ Calvin Johnson got into the Hall of Fame well
No,
before
you said
Chad.
Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald was better than Chad Ochocinco.
Okay, and Calvin Johnson is now in the Hall of Fame. And
Right. Calvin Johnson's supposed to be in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the greatest wide receivers of all time.
Andre
That doesn't
Johnson is
that
in
doesn't
the Hall.
change it. That
Andre
doesn't change the
Johnson is
Jamar
in the
Chase
Hall.
argument.
Andre Johnson is in the Hall of Fame. So why isn't Chad Johnson in the Hall already?
Chad's
That's
not
my.
as good as Larry Fitzgerald or Calvin Johnson.
Is he better than Andre Johnson?
Is he better than Andre Johnson, Chad Ochocinco? I think it's close.
Unc, what's going on, big dog?
What up, huh? Answer you in a minute, bro.
Do we got your Unc?
You got us on
Hey, I
mute?
want my dollar, man. I want my dollar.
You talking to
Can
2-5?
you hear me? No,
Who
I ain't
wants your
talking to
dollar,
two
huh?
five. I'm talking to that tight end, that Indianapolis guy that's got the tight end that's going to have more yards than any tight end in Colts history. That owes me $1 because Shador was available at the 21st pick and we didn't get him like he said he wasn't. I want my dollar.
That's fine. Just send me your cash out, bro. It's just $1, bro. I'm not crying over $1.
I'm not crying over $1 either, but yeah, y'all get amnesia behind $50. I'm just trying to remind you about a
Look,
dollar.
Yep.
hey, the deal is the deal, though. A shake is a shake. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn. But, hey, speaking of which, don't y'all think it would be a little eye-opening if Shador Sanders was to go out there and still win this quarterback position? After everything that they did to him in the draft, saying that, they feel like he was dismissive, he was brash, he was confrontational, or very cavalier. Maybe not confrontational, cavalier about the fact that Brian Daboll called him out about not being prepared for the meeting. Whatever the case may be that made him fall all the way from a first-round projection to the 5th round in what felt like 24 hours, wouldn't it be a little eye-opening for him to win that job in Cleveland?
I don't
Not
think
really.
so.
His expectation is for him. His Shador expectation is to be the week one starter.
No, it's
Straight
not.
up.
But it's the plan because it was twofold. You couldn't have a quarterback of his caliber on your roster and pay him first round money while you still on the hook for Watson.
Yep.
Plus plus the Shield needed that for ratings because you wasn't watching the draft past round two at best. So it was a twofold scenario. They'll get him on this fifth round contract for basically nothing. And then when he comes up for another contract, he'll be the highest paid quarterback in NFL history.
I don't even think he's gonna take
You know,
that type of money
uh,
because it's like I feel like with Shador, the money is never going to matter.
It's not about the money; it's about the principles. And you gonna punish them for punishing you on the day you should have been shining, like the rest of your contemporaries. You should have been a top five, top 10 at worst. But they dragged you all the way out to the fifth round for what ratings and to help the Browns out because they're gonna be cash strapped and taxed. Plus, those people don't want that shiny new stadium they trying to build, so they had to give them something to distract them for with that. So now, when they come up to vote for that shiny new stadium, it's gonna be just like it was in Indianapolis when nobody wanted that retractable garbage dump they got, but they had Peyton there, and Peyton said, "I wanted a new stadium." So guess what they got? A new stadium.
Because I mean that was the whole reason for me saying it though. Because it's like I feel like it still defeats the purpose. It still takes the mask off. It still goes to show that there was no reason for him to slide in the draft unless it was a purposeful slide.
The Shield gonna protect the Shield at all costs. They saw an opportunity, and it was a multi-fold opportunity to kill multiple birds at one stone. And that one stone was him. He got his like I say, his time to shine got sacrificed for the bigger picture. And later on down the road, when he gets off this, when he comes up for a new contract, and he will, if he doesn't get it from Cleveland, he'll get it from somebody else, and he'll be the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. And he'll go down in Black history. He'll surpass Russ as the highest paid Black quarterback. So he'll be twofold
I don't
NFL
know.
and Black history.
I don't know about that one because we still got some other quarterbacks, other black quarterbacks that's gonna hit that highest paid.
Exactly. So if Russ is 240, what Russ was what 245, 250, okay, and Watson was in the same neighborhood, if not more, and he currently holds the highest paid Black quarterback. Congratulations. If 250 is the minimum now for the record, imagine what it's going to be when Shadur comes up. It's going to be 300 plus,
Well, no, but then you
based
still
on what
got.
the quarterbacks are getting. The quarterbacks are getting 50 million a season now. In 4 more years, you ain't gonna tell me it ain't gonna be 3 plus.
I ain't saying that part, but what I'm saying as far as like you still got Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, Caleb Williams. You know what I'm saying? As far as when it comes to the black quarterbacks, Cam Ward.
Exactly. So each one of them are gonna escalate the money that Shador gets.
But I feel like Shador is not going to even care to be the highest paid. Like I don't think the money is going to be something that is going to
It's
be one
not
of
the
his
money.
priorities.
It's the principle. It's not the money. It's the principle. You did this to me. Now I'm gonna do this to y'all. But I'm gonna have the resume that says I warrant the money y'all are gonna give me based on potential. You give Trevor Lawrence $50 million based on potential. He's gonna get 55, 60 on potential. based off of the 4 or 3 years that he gives Cleveland.
So
Oh,
what you're saying is,
excuse me.
go
Um,
ahead, Lethal.
fuck Aaron Rodgers, fuck Duke, fuck the Colts, fuck the Patriots. Proceed.
God damn.
So Cam Ward, because everybody be forgetting like this is the number one overall pick, but he doesn't get talked about or is in the media as much as there people
Didn't he
talk
sign
about
a deal? Hold
Shador.
on, let me see what his deal was, because he got a deal too.
That's gonna be your legacy matchup. Anything you do is going to be compared to your contemporary that got drafted with you in the same year. They tried to do that with what Eli and Ryan
Phillip
Leaf, and we
Rivers.
saw how that turned out. Philip Rivers, Philip Rivers, Ben, and Eli all have a legacy comparison, but only one of them lacks what the other three have, which is a Super Bowl ring. Or other two, I should say. Eli and Ben got Super Bowl rings. All Philip got is stats and a starting five for two different sports. And he gonna have an NFL player in the draft for the next 10 years, whether it be a quarterback or offensive line. But all his
Cam
kids ain't
Ward,
gonna play quarterback, but at least three of them gonna play quarterback.
Cam Ward has signed a 4-year deal, 48.7 million. 38 is guaranteed. No, the contract is fully guaranteed, and 1 million signing bonus.
Yeah, so he already on 20 mil under being paid in the 50 range. So when his deal come up, and then after 3 years, when it's time for him to do his second contract, Cam gonna probably get 70, same as
You gonna get 70. You might get 60. But again, his contract and Shatur's contract are gonna help each other because you can't pay one without paying the other based on their performance. Even though he is the number one pick, if he doesn't put up number one pick numbers and you don't have that kind of trust in his growth, they may move off of him. But
what
we
is number
already know,
what is
we
number one
already
pick
know
overall numbers? What do you consider first? What do you consider overall first overall pick numbers at the quarterback position?
Are we setting Trevor Lawrence as the benchmark?
no.
I would have said if you want me to be honest, I always say the best benchmark for a rookie quarterback first overall would be Andrew Luck and his stats, especially for his rookie year.
Depending on the offensive line and depending on your yearly growth, that would work. But if you walk into a situation where your line is ass, you have no receivers, your running game is trash, that first contract is just a show me scenario.
I mean, look, that's
But
what Luck
if
had to
you
deal
walk,
with.
not necessarily.
Yes, bro. We were
The
full.
Well,
defense,
hold on, fellas. I don't know how much it means, but just really quick, I don't know how much it means, but Cam Ward's contract also includes a 5th-year option already.
That's what I'm saying. With
who got
Luck,
the option? Does the player have the option or the team?
probably a team option.
A 5th-year team option.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's them saying we giving you 4 years to get it together. If we like what we see, we gonna hold on to that next year
They could pick up.
and
They could pick
possibly
up that
franchise
fifth
you.
year. Yeah, they'll pick up that fifth. If his first 3 years,
If
if his
his
first
first
three
three
years is
years
like
go
12-4,
progression,
12-5, you know what I'm saying? He double digit wins and he's at least in the top 10 stat wise with the quarterbacks. They'll pick up his 5th year option, bro, or they'll just re him up that 3rd year.
or they'll franchise him to see what the going rate is for the quarterback with that type of numbers,
They're not gonna
and
Kirk
and
Cousins
give
him though. I
themselves.
think the Kirk
Having the
like
fifth year
Washington
option
done
only
it.
gives them, it gives the team the financial flexibility. It doesn't necessarily give the player anything.
But that's why
Because
he
if he
probably,
doesn't produce
if he's
anything,
smart, he'll re up his when his third contract come around, going to his third. That's the time he should re up on his contract.
but you can't force them to re up unless your numbers demand that they make a move now. And the Titans don't have a history of that kind of management.
True, but they haven't been in a position where they comfortably can sit here and say this is our guy for the next 15 years. Because even with Patrick Mahomes, they read up Patrick Mahomes in his third year and made it a team friendly deal. You know what I'm saying? That
But
extended on.
what did Patrick Mahomes have around him his third year versus what this kid walking into now? You didn't you didn't have people in Kansas City confident in Patrick Mahomes when he got drafted out of Texas A&M.
That's true. That's true. I ain't saying that. I ain't saying that's a lie. That's true.
But
But
Kansas City good
he
too.
warranted he proved that he was warranted an early contract extension. You know what I'm saying? For the long haul. Before you had to get into the team having to pick up his fifth year option.
And shout out
To
to Quick Trip.
see, but that was a business decision because by the sixth year, it was going to be more expensive to sign him than it was in the year that they signed him. That was a business move by the team, not necessarily by the player.
But that's why I feel like with these quarterbacks now, these newer ones from last year and this year, I feel like they're gonna be more team friendly quarterback as far as their contracts than what we think.
I mean,
If
I
the
feel like
going rate
with
right now is 50, if the going rate is 50, it's
What's the
going to
point
be
of
at
me?
least a
What's the
$5
point of me
million.
being? What's the point of me being the highest paid quarterback? What is the just to say I'm the highest paid quarterback? What's 50?
Because you look at
If I got drafted in the first round, like Cam Ward, Cam is getting 32 M's right now, 40 for real.
bro, the contract fully guaranteed, bro.
40 M's, bro. 46 M's. I'm already I'm al-
48.7.
I'm already at 50 M's. So I'm already with everybody else at the standard market. Why do I need to keep trying to fish for more if I can sit here and keep a decent contract? 40 M's is pretty well decent, bro. I don't think a nigga should feel like is bragging like you should hold bragging rights just because you're the highest paid quarterback. What you doing with all that bread? You winning games? You winning chips? I could be the highest paid quarterback all for real and not do a diddly squat. Deshaun Watson.
Mm.
well, here's what you do: you go to Cleveland and tell Miles Garrett to give that contract money back and play off his base salary.
Mm.
Garrett played a different position.
It's not about position. It's about money. It's about setting yourself up and setting your family up. That generational wealth y'all like to throw
And you
out there
can't
when
do
it
that
comes
with
to us.
40 M's. You can't do that with 40 M's. You can't do that with 1
No,
mil.
no, you not in this economy because egg price is still high. Fuck what you
Mm.
heard.
They said the price is still going up. Hey, speaking of prices going up, man, I
Hey,
see you
hey,
over there.
the price.
Yesterday
Okay,
prices, not today
and even
prices.
and nothing is guaranteed unless you have it in writing. These cats don't know that you can't say that he gonna make 50 million for the next 4 years guaranteed. He could have a career-ending injury. He could be a Teddy Bridgewater scenario. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is
But Teddy won't
guaranteed.
draft it
That's
in the
why
first
you did
round
it.
though.
Mhm.
Teddy Bridgewater wasn't drafted in the first round.
I don't believe so. I could have sworn Teddy got drafted in the second round.
Where's the stats guy? Oh, he got his other job. Okay, we'll let's say that one for another time. But I'm pretty sure he was drafted in the first round.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I could have sworn he won't though.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say he
I
was
got you. I'm
drafted.
looking at that.
But nothing's guaranteed. That's why
He
you
was
get
the
all you
final
can
first
while
round
you
pick.
can.
And I feel that. I feel that. I feel that. I feel that. But as a team, as like an organization, and or for a quarterback, if you know that you still need a team around you, And if you take more money, it's gonna be hard for you to keep a team around you. And I want to win, and I'm trying to build my legacy. I'm gonna be like Tom Brady. I'm not gonna take. I'm not gonna force myself to take a whole bunch of bread. You know what I'm saying? I can be smart. I can be a business, course. But I want to win, bro. I want my niggas to get paid. I want my team. I want my teammates to get paid, bro. You know what I'm saying? If I'm bringing in the stats and I'm bringing in wins and I'm bringing in chips, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing my job. I don't the bread. I get bread outside of when I win chips. I'm gonna get more bread regardless. I don't have to take from my team to get the extra bread to create that type of wealth.
Could you apply that logic to you and your homie smoking weed? You the only one taking less weed in your joint, while everybody else smoking the fat ones, you smoking the pinky.
Bro, I
As
do it.
long as everybody high, you happy?
Hey, bro. To each his own, nigga. If you want to roll a fat blunt, go buy beans. I'm gonna roll a skim joint. If I want to save my weed, I want to save my weed, bro.
But if you
I'm still
if you
smoking.
put more money, but if you put more money into getting the stuff, if you put more work into getting the stuff, yet they getting more of the weed to smoke. You ain't gonna have a problem with that?
I mean, we can't put weed in that logic then. Sorry.
Yeah, we can, we can,
we can't we
we
can't use
can,
weed as that you can't
we
use
can
weed
because the
as that
fact that
logic.
you saying that says you know it's flawed saying what you say.
No, I just know that how I am with weed, I'm just not gonna give a fuck after a while. Because if I'm still smoking
Okay, so
weed, I don't
the way
care.
you are with weed, some people are with money.
I feel that though. I feel that, and I'm not gonna sit here and say it's not people like that. But if you think smart, you do it smart. If you're a smart person when it comes to you being a quarterback, and if you're a young quarterback at that, you know you need a team around you. At the end of the day, you could be like that all you want, but you still need a team around you for you to succeed. And if I
So
get
what
No,
you
close
no,
to
need,
no,
succeeding and
no,
winning,
no, no,
I will take
no,
the less bread.
no, 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 no. Because how many times have we seen these teams take money and not do shit with it?
That's the
Like
team fault.
all
That's
that
their
money.
fault.
No, no,
That's the whole
I
team
know,
fault.
but all that money. So, for example, right, all that money that Tom Brady gave up over the years, you know what I'm saying? They got fucking Chris Hogan out of it.
Yeah, but these niggas still got
So,
some. This nigga Tom Brady still won the fucking Super Bowl with niggas
right,
that we don't even think about anymore.
because he was that great.
And he had a defense.
Because he was that great. So if I was somebody like Trevor Lawrence or Justin, whatever, whoever, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the problem with your arguments. Every time we have conversations like this, y'all try to compare it to the very fucking best person. Like,
I didn't say I
obviously,
didn't.
everybody's not Tom Brady, so they're not going to have the results that Tom Brady had because they're not him.
I've seen
I don't
niggas.
like this. I don't like this guy only because he took my dollar.
No, I don't disagree with what you're saying from a fundamental standpoint. But what I'm saying though is that it doesn't matter what you give up if your organization, because if you give up the money and your organization doesn't help you out, you know what Lethal is going to say? Lethal going to say, "Why your dumbass turned down the money?"
No, I would have said, why his dumb ass ain't leave? Like why he just forced his way.
But
You see,
but no matter, but that's why it matters, because where you going to go? Like, it don't matter if you go to another team that's shitty.
but I'd rather go to if I'm on a team that's shitty and I build these niggas back up to at least some type of relevance, but I still need more help. I take less money for my team to sit here and put the pieces around me, and they screw me over and don't do that. I'm going to
But
force
see,
myself
because
out, and I'm going
you're
to find.
looking at it, you're looking at it through one lens though. You could help somebody through the draft. You know what I'm saying? Because like, as much shit as we give Aaron Rodgers,
But
for
you can still
example,
blow that. You can still blow it though. Like you can say go
I
help
know,
in
I
the
know,
draft
but that's
and draft some niggas
but
that you
that's
be
the but
like,
that's the
bro, what?
thing. As much That's the thing. As much money as Green Bay gave Aaron Rodgers, they still never gave him a first round draft pick at receiver. Like you can't do nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't gonna go sign free agents too.
But he also
His
made
receivers were still
niggas.
tough though.
He still helped made. Yeah, he had Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, Donald Driver, James Jones,
Yeah, that's
Randall
cool.
Cobb.
That's
Like we are
cool.
talking
That's
about
cool.
niggas, and then let's keep with the list
That's
of first
cool. I
team
want
all
Larry Fitzgerald.
you know what I'm saying?
That's cool. I want Larry Fitzgerald. I want fuck Greg Jennings. I want Megatron. I want Julio Jones.
But we can't knock the receivers that Green Bay produced though.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Because you're talking about a very small window. Once Greg Jennings was gone, what did they do after that?
Jordy
Greg
Nelson,
Jennings put up a 900-yard
Randall
season in
Cobb,
Like, like,
Devontae
Minnesota.
like, like,
Adams.
like, I get that we don't like Aaron Rodgers, but you still got to tell the truth.
Greg
Bro, he
Jennings was
still
tough, bro. And Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson was successful in Oakland before he got hurt. He put up 1,000 yards season.
And how long did that
He
last?
got hurt though. He was already
he
old.
Aaron Rodgers got the
That's what I'm saying.
Aaron Rodgers
That's what I'm
squeezed
saying. Like,
majority of all those receivers he had. He squeezed the living juice out of them, and the most he can get
I
out of
think,
them.
I think that, I think that relative to his skill, when we look at quarterbacks of his ilk, his team has probably the Green Bay failed him, relatively speaking.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all just don't like the motherfucker,
No, I
so
like
y'all
the
ain't
fact
trying
that
to
I
acknowledge
feel
that.
like niggas don't realize like Aaron Rodgers has all since he got when he started, bro. He was trash when he first ever like started really playing football in the league. But he had receivers, bro. Niggas knocked the Green
That's
Bay
all I'm saying.
receivers
He
more than
definitely
I
they
had
did.
know,
receivers.
I know, and I acknowledge that. I acknowledge that. I'm asking what happened after that.
Bro, he always had. Are we
You
not
keep
talking about
trying to stay
Devontae
in that
Adams?
one
Is
area.
he
I'm
still
talking
had
about
niggas, bro? He always had Devontae Adams, Randall Cobb, and it kept it just that was
as opposed to having as opposed. Hold on. He had Devontae
and
Adams
that was his
as
number one.
opposed
That at the
to
time
having
he
as opposed to having Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden, as opposed to having Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, as opposed to having Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne.
bro, what
You
we
talking about niggas that
saying?
was drafted before Aaron Rodgers became a starter, dog?
I'm not. Stop trying to focus on the literal point. You understand what I'm
But I'm
trying to
saying
say.
the caliber niggas that you talking about,
Like,
bro. The
like
caliber.
stop trying to do the gotcha
No,
thing.
bro, because
Like, I'm just talking about.
the era that
I'm just
Aaron
talking
Rodgers
about.
had
I'm not
everything.
obviously Aaron Rodgers didn't play at the same time that Marvin Harrison came into the league. I'm making the
But
point that you keep saying he had
but
Devontae
wait, I'm
Adams,
saying,
and I'm like,
but
yeah,
all I'm saying
Devontae
though,
Adams,
bro,
and what
the
else?
caliber niggas that you talking about that was coming out into the draft, the star nigga. No, really, who has since Aaron Rodgers has been like who has been the we talk
Green Bay
about
never drafted one.
Antonio Brown, bro. They drafted Devontae Adams. What are we talking about? These niggas
And then
Devontae
and
Adams
then and then
is
he,
one
and
of
then
the
he,
best.
and then
Bro,
and
isn't
then
he
they
on the
put
All Decade team? He's one of the best receivers
and
of
then they
our
put and then
era.
they put what? But yes, but we're talking about teams that have multiple receivers. You're talking about one very good receiver.
Bruh, Jordy Nelson had several years above 1,200 yards. He was that nigga.
And then and then he got hurt. But who was there with him?
Bruh, they had Randall Cobb, bruh. Why, bruh? For one,
Randall Cobb ain't no fucking good receiver, bro.
I'm sorry,
Like
dog. Them
okay, let
niggas
me
always had
rephrase. Let me
niggas.
rephrase. Let me rephrase. I'm not going to say that Randall Cobb is not good, but he's not the same thing that we're talking about these other receivers.
I mean, bruh,
Like
I
Randall
feel you,
Cobb is
but it's
probably
like,
at his best. At his best, Randall Cobb was probably not a top 20 wide
I'll say
receiver.
this. I'll say this. We in this year, this modern football that we watch, we have more receivers than and is more talented than it was in the 2010s to about at least
19 for real, bro. When we talk about like just receivers, most teams
Okay,
just
okay. Think
most
about
teams
this. Hold
had
up.
just
Think about
your normal just two receiver combo. And F bet you know you had a nigga.
right. So
Or you
so
had
so with
a
that
nigga.
small, so with that game that y'all were talking about earlier, when he lost to San Francisco in the snow, a lot of other teams would have been like, "Yo, we need one more weapon, or we're a piece away, or whatever." Green Bay didn't do that.
That's true. I can agree with you on that point. Like
That's what I'm
during that
saying.
time span, during that them like partly like 3 years, 3 to 4 years after
But
the
dog,
Jordy
man,
Nelson
but we
year.
gotta this. I gotta interject, bro, because
And he was still winning.
for one, again, like I'm pretty sure you're about to say he was still winning MVPs.
No, but
So
that was
he
the
was he was
Yes,
so
that's the
listen though.
stretch for him. That's the stretch for Aaron Rodgers, where Devontae Adams was his number one nigga, and that was when Devontae Adams was being the top five, top three
and
receiver in the
that was
league
all he had.
during that time. Yeah.
And that
So
was,
and during that
but
time
I'm
they
talking
didn't
about
get
relatively
a running
speaking.
mate,
I like,
because that's when the
and that,
running mates really
right,
started becoming something, and they didn't get, because that's when you had like
right.
Amari Cooper tied with CD Lamb.
And Devontae Adams still wasn't a first round receiver, if I remember
But
correctly.
bro, he was still leading top five offenses. The Packers, and he was trying to handicap them niggas, bro. The Packers had to think for themselves, bro. For one,
Why you ain't getting on so why aren't you getting on the defense then?
because y'all the ones who keep saying the nigga had all these good defenses, bro. The nigga, the bro,
Who's y'all? I didn't say shit.
bro. For one, for
Who
one,
is y'all? Who? No. Time out, time out. I need a list of the people that said this because I'm not y'all.
The social media people, it's the social media.
Fuck the social media people. You talking to 2-5. I'm not coming at you talking about what I read on Patriots Twitter. I'm talking to you.
when that 49ers game that you talking about, them niggas losing, bro. What was the score?
It was 13-10.
And you telling me I need to bring up the defense in that jump,
No, but you need to bring up the defense when he lost in overtime 55-48.
nigga.
You can't tell
Nigga,
you gotta
he
tell
got
the whole
strip sacked.
story. You can't you
Did
can't
he or did he
you
not get
can't
strip
just
sacked?
pick
Did he or did he not get strip sacked? Did he or did he not get
you
strip sacked
can't
at the end of
just
the
pick.
game?
He did, but you can't pick bits and pieces of the story that fit what you're trying to
Because
say, and then leave out the other parts that don't fit what you're trying to
because
say.
every time I hear about Tom Brady, I hear about the fact that he was carried by defenses. But every time he look, and it's gonna be really quick. But
Did
listen,
I
but
say
listen though,
that?
but listen though,
Did
but
I
listen
say
though.
did I
No,
say
because
that?
this is going to your point
No,
though.
did I say that? Did I say
But
that?
listen
Did
though,
I
but
say
listen
that?
though, this is going to your point. If you let me bring it full circle, it's going to your point. All I hear about is how Tom Brady's when Tom Brady lost to the Eagles, he had the best statistical game by a quarterback in NFL history in a Super Bowl. 500 passing yards. He put up 40
He sure
points,
did. He sure
or he
did.
put up 30 some points and he still lost, right? So he put up those points, he still lost.
Right.
But at the end of the game, Tom Brady had an opportunity to march down the field and he got strip sacked, bro.
So what happened when they lost to Mark Sanchez? That's what I'm trying to say. It's a full story. It's not just one game that we're analyzing here. We're talking about the whole picture, but you're trying to reduce it down to the moments that make them look bad, but not acknowledge the other moments.
I mean, because
But with Tom Brady, but with Tom Brady, but with Tom
we
Brady,
only
but with
acknowledge the
Tom
Every
other
Brady, we're gonna
moments.
dissect this
We
opportunity
shit.
had
can't
to shine.
we
How
can't
that shit.
acknowledge the other moments, bro, because the other moments led him to the moments where he fucking blew the shit and he blow his shit all the time like normal.
All right, I got it. Fuck when he scored 48.
Bro,
Let's just
remember
talk about when he scored.
he
Got it.
had Tom
I
Bro,
got you. No,
he
I
had
got you.
what
I
is
Tom
got
one
you.
Brady.
gleaming
Oh,
He
you
moment that
don't
had
gotta
Aaron
Tom
Rodgers
explain no
Brady
more. I
and
had,
see what we're
bro?
Lambo.
doing.
He had Tom Brady and
You
Lambo.
don't, you don't, you
He
don't, you
had
don't, you don't got to
Tom
explain no
Brady
more. I see what we're
and
doing here. You don't have to
Lambo
explain anymore.
and
I get it
still
now. I get
shitted
it.
the game away.
I
I
wasn't, and
get
you
it. You
already
don't
know
got to
I would
explain it.
never
I get it.
spark
I
no
get it.
Aaron Rodgers conversation. You would know
Like
I wouldn't even spark no
he's
Aaron
lost
Rodgers
something.
conversation. I don't even know how we got here.
He's
He's
lost more
lost.
shit than he
He's
has ever won shit, bro.
yes, but he also has lost. I don't remember the exact number, but it's between 6 and 8 playoff games where he scored 30 points. That's not an Aaron Rodgers not showing up.
bro. I bet one of
Like
those
y'all just
games.
focusing on the negative
I
shit because
bet
of who he
one of those
is.
games is
Like
what
like
is that Giants game where they went 15-1, dog. He had, and those games that you be talking
no, they
about,
only
there
scored
are a
20.
lot of
No, they only
opportunities. There are a lot of
no, they lost that
opportunities.
game. No, I'm not. They lost that game. They lost that game to the Giants 38-20. So I'm not talking about that game.
That's still embarrassing after going
It's
15 and
still
one
it's
But I
straight
don't
still
know
up.
who the but I don't know who
And you
but I
got
don't know
lost
who the
by
fuck
six.
all these I don't
That's
know
just
who the
crazy,
fuck all
dog. That's
these
just crazy
y'all
to me,
people
bro.
are.
It's
I
crazy
don't
to
know
me,
who the
bro.
fuck all these y'alls are.
it's still
15-1 and you
it,
lose to a 6 seed. Man, first round.
That's bad.
That's tough,
I'm not
dog.
saying that that's not
That's
bad.
tough,
I'm
dog.
not
One
saying
and
that that's
done,
not
bro.
bad.
One and
I'm
done, bro.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that that's not bad. I'm just saying that there's more to the story than that
So
one
so
game.
so me you telling me that Aaron
Like
Rodgers
Did
has
Tom
been a
Brady lose a playoff? Did Tom Brady lose a playoff game at home to Mark Sanchez?
I'm saying and yes we did. We definitely did. Saying that Aaron Rodgers
Right
has
before
been
Tom Brady went to Tampa.
victim
Right
of
before Tom Brady
circumstance.
went.
So are you and I'm not
Right
and
before
I
Tom
want you to
Brady
hear
went
me
to
clearly. No,
Tampa.
I want you to hear me clearly, bro. I want you to hear me clearly.
Hold
I'm
on, real
not
quick.
saying that Aaron
Just let me
Rodgers
say
is
this one
trash.
sentence real quick. Just let me say this one sentence real quick. Did Tom Brady not score 10 points in his final playoff game against the Titans?
As a Patriot, oh, I'm glad you brought that up. So again, receivers that year.
See, here we go. Now we making the justifications.
No, because you weren't you just making a conversation of the Packers never helped always
What I'm
fielded
saying
better
is
offensive weapons
what I'm saying
year
is
in and year out, yearly.
what I'm saying is that there are full stories that we're talking about that we are reducing down to the worst moments. You know what I'm saying? And then turn around, and then when other people have moments or whatever, we try to come up with why they have those moments
I
while
think it's
ignoring
just depending on the
while the
moment.
person that we're talking about had the moments that
Because
they had.
if you look at all these moments, bro, if you look at like Aaron Rodgers moments compared to Tom Brady moments, and if you're talking even like good
Well,
performance
obviously Tom Brady, but there's other quarterbacks that we can compare him to.
Well, let's do my
And that was
favorite
the
one
point that I
because
made in the
again, let's
first.
go through the losses of the Boilermaker. Let's go through the losses of Aaron Rodgers.
No. Y'all can have that conversation, and I'll sit here and listen.
Oh, sure. Oh, that look, hey, that's
I'll just sit here.
making
I'll
things.
just sit here and listen. Y'all do that
Nah, hey, look,
because you ain't gonna say nothing no different. Because you ain't gonna say nothing any different than we've already here and listen.
And again, like I said 5 minutes ago, I would never spark no Aaron Rodgers conversation. I don't even know how we got here with the wide receivers that he's had on his team.
Because
I don't know where that's
y'all were talking about
who was y'all.
you and Lethal. Y'all were talking about some of his failures, and I was saying
Whose
that the only
failures?
reason that y'all were looking at it that stop playing dumb.
No, for real. When
Like
were we talking about Aaron Rodgers, bro?
y'all were talking about his failures against the 49ers.
Oh, you talking about earlier today? I thought you were talking about in the
I
pod.
don't know. I just joined the pod. I don't know. I'm just talking what I saw.
you joined or did you come in
Yeah.
shooting? Sound like
I
you
came
came in
in.
shooting.
Hell yeah.
I
You just
came in
came in
bang bang,
blazing. You
baby.
don't even know
That
what
is
the time. What the
with gas mask on, bullets,
No, what?
vest
So what I
tight.
came to ask. So what I really came to ask because I was at the DMV, so I caught some and I didn't catch some. But what I was coming to ask is Shador going up against the ones yet?
I'm not sure. I
Because
mean,
everybody's
all this
talking
is
all this shit, but if he's doing it against the third stringers, what does it prove?
That he's better than Dylan Gabriel.
That's fine. We already knew that. But just
No, he
because he's
didn't.
dominating, third stringers, don't mean I'm ready to give you the keys to the car.
We're talking about the Browns. That's a used Kia.
I mean, just like how they say JJ McCarthy is like then did the greatest fucking OTA workout
But that's different.
touchdowns.
But that's
It's just
different.
it,
It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
are these even real things that somebody can sit here and say like these are real numbers?
But they're not the same thing in the first place because J.J. McCarthy was drafted to be the future of the Minnesota Vikings.
And he
The
coming
other
off an
guy,
injury.
I know. That's why you make note of that he looks good because he's coming off an injury versus the guy that went in the fifth round that's playing against third stringers and we're like, he the king.
He's
Bro,
playing.
when he get
He's
that
playing
job, you gonna be
better
like,
than the
damn.
quarterback you drafted ahead of him. So, and I'm not
You're correct,
I'm
Cups.
not
When
hyping. I'm not hyping the Browns. I'm just saying he's
you're
playing better
correct,
than the
Cups.
quarterback.
No, you're correct,
You
Cups.
know what I'm
Once he
saying?
gets the
That's
job and he performs like that, yes, we're going to be like, wow. But while he's going against third stringers, I'm not going to be like, oh man, the NFL made a mistake playing this, not getting this dude that's dominating third stringers that ain't going to make the team anyway.
so now. Oh, I was about to say now you're saying he not
I
the
mean, is it the third stringers?
spot. I don't think he's taking no first team reps yet.
But
Why would he be
that's what I'm
getting
I
first
saying,
don't
string
and
think
we
he's
reps
taking.
already talking
when?
about
Why
how
would
he
he?
need
But
to get the
you
job.
already. But you have Flacco projected as your starter. Why would he be getting first round? Why would he be getting reps with first string? He's just there to get
That's the
acclimated
point.
with
That's
the
the point. So
system.
when we see
He,
right,
once he gets acclimated with the
but
system,
I
and they
think
give him live action, aka the preseason game, then you can possibly say, "Hey, let's do this." But why are you wasting first string reps on a fifth round
So
starter or
I
fifth
got
round
I
pick?
got
right,
breaking
and that's what
news.
I'm
I got
saying. That's
breaking
what I'm
news.
saying. Like it's good that he's showing what he's showing. But as far as saying like, oh, he's the starter and all this kind of stuff, I just think we need to wait a minute.
I got breaking
But I think
news.
the hype behind them getting all hyped is based off of what was being said during the draft. It was said that he came in unprepared, that he came across as cocky. So they was waiting for him to fail, and he is yet to give them what they've been waiting on. So if they can't
Right.
run off the "ha I told you so," now they gotta slide into the or take the Stephen A route and be like, "Well, yeah, I knew it was there. It just had to be pulled out of him. He needed to get motivated."
But I'm
And
not. But
getting
I'm not talking
drafted in the
about them.
round he got drafted in with his motivation.
But I'm not talking about them. I'm
I
talking
get.
about us.
I mean, I mean, as for us, I could care less us, cause the Browns is ass. I'll get his brother
Well,
jersey before I get his jersey. I've already said that.
I just think
However,
that
I
yeah.
I want the kid to succeed just based off of what's already been put in front of him and how he's been portrayed. I want him to
Right.
succeed, just like
Right. Right.
I wanted Joey to succeed. I wanted Lamar to succeed based on what he had to go through in the draft. Lamar should have been a top 15 pick, but he got picked the second to the last in the first round or the very last pick in the first round by the
Something like
Ravens.
that.
Okay, but I wanted him to succeed just based off of that fact and that he was a Heisman Trophy quarterback. They normally go just off the trophy, get you a top 15 pick,
And
but
that's what I'm saying.
he
Like I
had to
think
wait.
most of us and that's what I'm saying. I think most of us in here, we want Shador to succeed. But we don't have to jump the gun just because we want him to succeed.
I'm not jumping the gun. I'm just saying I want him. I want him. I mean, you can't honestly look at the situation outside of Flacco. You can't honestly look at that situation in the Browns organization and not think he's going to eventually be the star.
Yeah, he
Just
will
based
be.
off of what they have there right now.
They're just dumb because I don't know what the point of getting Kenny Pickett was.
I think Kenny Pickett was the insurance policy for like the. I think they'll move Flacco sometime in the mid season. If Shador starts, Flacco gonna probably get traded mid season, and Kenny
But
Pickett gonna be
you would rather have Kenny Pickett as insurance over Joe Flacco?
yeah as a
The only
backup,
reason you
as
say
a
that the
backup,
only
as a
reason you say
backup.
that is the only reason you say that is because you can get better compensation for Flacco than you can for Pickett. If you say
But
that, I can honestly see that.
I'll also say that just because for a backup, and being young, Kenny Pickett is more better insurance policy than having Flacco.
Okay, but I mean, I think if that was the case, you could have just kept Jameis and no crab legs there.
Nah, you already knew that you can let Jameis walk, but Flacco is gonna be
But
a trade
but
bait.
Jameis is a known to the organization anyway. Jameis is a known commodity. You don't know what you're getting with Kenny. Kenny could be a op for the Steelers or for the Eagles.
I mean,
And Flacco ain't
same with
nothing but
And
another
yep.
year
y'all
older.
youngins like to say,
I mean, I just rather as an insurance policy or a backup for this season or just in general, bro. I'd rather go with Kenny Pickett for Shador, let Flacco and use Flacco for trade bait, because Flacco can start and somebody's gonna if
So
somebody's trading
so
for
why
Flacco,
not
he's gonna be playing.
so why not start Kenny Pickett then and then prep Shador for next year?
and why didn't y'all keep Flacco in Indianapolis if that was the case? If you that high on it
We need
as a
somebody that
backup.
can run the offense in the right way. The offense is built off of having a mobile quarterback. That's what makes the offense even be 10 times more explosive than normal. So, and Flacco's old as dirt.
Yeah,
But
that
he's
was the other point about the Browns. He ain't nothing but another year older.
It's like
he's
there's
good
no,
trade compet. He's good trade bait is what you're saying, and that's
yeah.
about
That's
it.
what he's trade bait.
Based on his experience being old as dirt.
Yeah, but he's trade bait. He gonna be traded mid season.
So realistically, if you're coming into the season, right? If like forget who the quarterback is,
If Shador could beat out Kenny Pickett, if Shador beats out like Kenny Pickett in training camp, they're gonna start Shador and trade Flacco.
so that's what I so regardless of who the quarterback is, regardless of who wins the quarterback job, what is your mission and goal if you're the Cleveland Browns this year?
If I was Cleveland, bro, honestly, bro, I would literally prep Shador up. If he beats out Kenny, bro, I'll prep him up and I'll start him and we'll go from there. Like we'll put on the Jaden Daniel type season. Like as far as just we take the wheels off, we let him go. You know what I'm saying?
Jaden Daniels,
And start.
Who is he throwing to in Cleveland?
Jerry Judy.
You gotta start from You gotta start from somewhere, bro.
Man, David and Joku, you better stop playing.
They
No,
got you know what I'm
so
saying.
Cubs. No, I'm saying, but Cubs, like as we sit here today, like if you're the Cleveland Browns, what are you telling yourself? Like if you're Stefanski, what are you telling ownership? Like this is what the goal is for this season.
Well, I mean, ownership was already divided. We saw the reaction with this skinny black guy and the rest of the war room when Shador's name was mentioned. You know what I'm saying? They said that they were divided. You know, we just took a quarterback in the fourth or fifth round, and now we're taking another one again in Shador Sanders. So I mean, if I'm Stefanski, I'm hoping that genuinely the best man wins the job, and you would think again that Joe Flacco is just the most prepared for the job, because I mean, again, this is kind of reminiscent of the Drake May Jacoby Brisket, you know what I'm saying, thing, to where it's like we know Drake May is the better talent, but is he ready to play and does he have the support to play around this kind of team? Because we know that if he goes out there, he's gonna get his ass kicked. So do we even want him to play right now? Do we even want Shador Sanders to play for the
Well,
Cleveland
it
Browns
just
right now?
depends because, like you said, if he ends up being the best, I mean, at the end of the day, too, Stefanski's coaching for his job.
That's what
For
I'm
sure.
saying, bro. If Shador beats out Kenny, bro, in training camp, if he just shows he beat out Kenny, he'll be probably starting week 1, and they'll probably trade Flacco for, and you know what I'm saying, keep
But
Kenny as a
also, there's
backup.
another. But I think there's another part to that equation too, though, because just because Shador beats out Kenny Pickett, whatever the case may be, how good was Kenny Pickett? And you know what I mean? So, like, as an
I
NFL coach,
mean,
to some degree, you're still conservative and like, I don't know if I want to put my future in the hands of a rookie.
why not?
Bro, I'll give you 10 seconds
Cam
right
Ward,
now.
you
I
got
will give
your
you 10
Cam
seconds
Ward
right
splitting
now to
reps, but
name
they already know that's they future.
I will give you 10 seconds right now to name me two teams, possibly three. No, three teams, possibly two. Two in the possible. 10 seconds right now to name me two teams in the possible that would trade for Joe Flacco right now.
The
10,
Vikings,
Steelers,
the
9,
Vikings,
Saints, the Vikings and the
Steelers,
8,
Saints,
Vikings, Saints, yeah,
7,
Steelers,
Vikings, Saints. I feel
6,
that.
Steelers,
and
Saints,
and the
5,
Steelers, Saints,
Chargers,
Vikings.
4,
and the
And the
Chargers.
Steelers,
3,
and the Steelers for sure.
2,
Steelers.
1.
Hmm.
He wouldn't go to the Steelers.
I heard
He would. He
Vikings.
would.
That's
He wouldn't
dead.
go to the Steelers because he loyal. But Steelers, Vikings, Saints, and like you say, Chargers. That's four right off the bat.
That's cap.
So
That's
what do we do?
cap. The
So
Chargers would trade for
well,
Flacco.
because right now their backup. I'm just going off of the fact that their backup is Easton Stick right now.
And then on top of that, who's gonna trade for Kenny Pickett?
No, I don't know. That's a good question. That's the better question.
Exactly.
But I was going to say,
Well,
what happens with Kirk Cousins now?
That's what I'm saying. Between the two quarterback, between that being Flacco being the trade bait, that's where you bring in Kirk Cousins. You know what I'm saying? Where like somebody far as trading, those are your two people that you can go to off the rip. They'll Cleveland will probably trade
well,
for
Kenny,
Kirk and put him as a backup.
if Kenny Pickett is in the top three in their rotation as far as quarterback, he gonna demand a trade. So he gonna make it easy for them to send him down to New Orleans for a case of Bush Light and 2-9 later. He ain't gonna make. He ain't gonna make. He might. He gonna be starter,
So
but they still got Watson on the book.
so
So you basically got what, five quarterbacks, four quarterbacks?
five. Yep.
Okay, you got four quarterbacks. Four quarterbacks. Well, let me see. Two, them two. Okay, you got five quarterbacks. You're gonna keep three on the roster, and if he's not one of the three, he's gonna demand a trade. Most likely be traded, and if it ain't to New Orleans, he could go to Miami.
And realistically, it might be two because you're not getting rid of Watson's money, even though he's not going to play this year. I don't know if you could carry three quarterbacks and his money.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like basically how the season gonna
But that,
probably start off for them. It'll be if Shador start, it'll be like Shador the starter at bat. They'll have Kirk Cousins or still have Kenny Pickett as the backup and Dylan Gabriel as their third string. And if anything they run with two, if they have to run with two backups, that's probably where they'll trade for Kirk Cousins and have one on their practice and keep Dylan
but
Gabriel on their practice squad.
Man, the real
help
question
me out
is,
here. Doesn't the insurance cover his contract because of the
Kirk
injury?
Cousins
Doesn't
would
the
be the
insurance
Kirk
cover his
Cousins would be
contract?
the, if they go two quarterbacks, if
Well,
they
I
go
don't know
into the
because
year
they
with
made him
two,
restructure.
it'll be
So with them
the
restructuring,
real
that took the
is
insurance out of it.
I would think that they're still on the
the
hook
real
for it, and
question.
that's why he restructured to give them more money.
The real question
But I'm
is,
saying,
how are
even
they going
though even
to?
he's injured, the insurance doesn't cover the contract if you're injured. Doesn't that take the team off the hook?
I don't know. I had to look into that. I don't know that off top.
The real question is how are they gonna balance
Or
these
maybe
reps
I'm
in the
putting
preseason?
basketball. Maybe I'm putting basketball in there.
Does Deshaun Watson get reps in the preseason?
Bro, he is not playing football ever again, bro.
No, he can't. He's in that. He's still in that booth. Matter of fact, didn't have to
I
go in
don't
there
know
and
why
Oh, I
y'all. I
do
don't
forgot he
something
was
know.
else
still
to it because
hurt.
he did something to it while he was in
He's
the
never
booth.
playing football again, bro. He's not touching the NFL field ever again, bro. He's never taking another snap, meaningful snap in the league again, bro.
So how are they gonna balance the reps between that's still four quarterbacks that you want to see reps from?
Right, bro. The goat right now is Shador has to beat
Not
Shador
necessarily.
mission is to beat out Kenny Pickett at best. At
I don't
best.
think Dylan Gabriel gonna get. I don't think Dylan Gabriel even. I don't think it mattered what team he got drafted to. I don't think he was ever gonna be an NFL quarterback anyway.
I agree. He
Exactly.
might end up. He might end up just on the practice squad.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Shador has to just beat out
So
Kenny Pickett.
would you take Dylan Gabriel or Chase Daniels?
Wow,
Um,
wow.
I would say Chase
I'll take
Daniel.
Chase Daniels. I'll take Chase Daniels.
I definitely take Chase
Well,
Daniel.
that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, I think that Chase Daniel,
Would you
if
take
Chase
Tyler
Dan,
Thigpen? Would you take Tyler
if Chase,
Thigpen? Would you take Tyler Thigpen
no,
or Dylan Gabriel?
I don't know, probably Dylan. But I
That's
think
tough.
that, but I think that with Dylan, I mean Chase Daniel, he might have a better chance if he got drafted today than when he got drafted.
Mm.
Because the league has changed, you know what I mean, in a lot of ways where there's a lot more RPO, there's a lot more I'm going to tailor the offense to this guy versus this is my system.
Chase Daniel. Shout out to Chase Daniels, dog.
So do y'all think a guy like Dennis Dixon would have succeeded now in now football?
Yes. Dennis Dixon would be a star right now.
Seneca
Shout
Wallace.
out to the Ducks.
You know what I'm saying? He just had that injury. That was what did him in, really.
Shout out to the
But,
Ducks,
hey,
man.
y'all still got Brissett?
Do we still got brisket? I don't know.
Oh, he doing progressive commercials. I don't
Because
think
if,
he on any roster.
cause if
For
not,
being
that
the
might be
fucking
another.
backup, dog.
Because I was going to say, because if not, that might be another good spot for Flacco.
Mm-hmm. Get a little Joey Flack as a
Jacoby
little insurance
Brissett.
policy.
No, he played for the Cardinals now.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh.
right. That's right. So who's your backup now? Because
Josh Dobbs.
okay.
Oh, y'all got Dobbs? That's all right.
Yeah, we got Josh Dobbs. You know what I'm saying?
So do y'all feel like
Yeah,
Joe Milton is going to see the field this year? I got the foes up for Dak, but I'm saying like far as like Dak gets
If
hurt.
that get hurt, yeah. Like if that gets hurt, sure. But otherwise, I don't think so.
Nah. Even if he razzle dazzles in the preseason,
Nah, you gave that one dude that you mentioned $60 million. His ass gonna be on the field.
and shout out to Trey Lance.
Yeah, shout
You know what
out
I'm
to Trey
saying?
Lance.
He gone, ain't he?
Yeah,
yeah.
he go.
The best, the best
Ain't he
pick,
on the Chargers?
the best pick
Yeah.
the Niners ever did. Yep. Shout out to John Lynch for that excellent, wise assessment, putting all
So
that
what quarter?
investment
So
into that man.
what second year quarterback is going to have the slump?
That's tough.
Um,
That's tough.
The one in New England,
um,
oh, and the one. It's gonna be a tie. The one in Indianapolis and the one in New England.
I don't have a second year quarterback.
I was
Yeah,
about to say
Indy. This is
so
You
you
do.
that
I
thirsty for the gotcha is
got a third.
crazy.
I got a third year quarterback.
You really count that first year, guy? You really count that first year?
Third year, baby. He going into his third
Did
year.
you really
So
count that first year?
He going
Did
into
you
his
get his
third year.
girlfriend back? Did you get his girlfriend back in Indianapolis for him, or
so
is he still
I
lost?
don't I don't I don't think it's gonna be Jaden. I don't think necessarily it's gonna be Bo, but I will say that for both of them, last year went too well. Like it was like everything went as about as great as it could have.
Mm.
But out of those two, I would say Bo just because Denver still didn't really address getting another receiver, but they
They
might have
want to
made
run
their
the
running.
ball though. They want
Yeah,
to
that's
run
what
the
I was about
ball.
to say. They might have made their
They
run.
got Drake Greenlaw.
They might. That's what I was going to say. That their defense is going to be even better. They might have got. They have a better running back room now, and they're talking to J.K. Dobbins as well. So so Denver, those numbers could go down just because of the style of play, or the Broncos could win if he have a slump just because of the things that they've done around him as far as the defense and the running game. But I think they still need another receiver.
I think the expectations and the distractions gonna sabotage Chocolate City. It won't be his
Maybe,
play. It'll be the people. It'll be the people around him, just because of like you say, it exceeded expectations. So now this year they're expecting what they wasn't
right.
expecting last year, and when
You're
he
the
doesn't
target
even
now.
meet last year, yeah, when he doesn't even meet last year's numbers, they're gonna say, oh, he's the problem, or she's the problem, or it's a combination of problems. So I think the
So which
expectations
Yeah,
they
she
need to
she
keep
definitely need to
last
stop
year's
trying to embarrass
expectations.
my. She need to definitely stop trying to embarrass my
Oh
man in public though.
man.
so which between
Ooh.
these two quarterbacks, which of these two have the I say their breakout or
I would say, well, oh, you talking about it like as far as different quarterbacks besides those two?
yeah, these two quarterbacks between JJ and Penix,
Uh huh.
which one of
Um,
them has the has that like show you oh you was surprised see the sleeper season.
I
You
think you
can't
have to
you
say
can't do
Penix.
that.
I think Penix. I think Penix has the best chance to showcase how dynamic and how much of a difference maker he is for a team. I feel like JJ McCarthy has the opportunity to show that, you know what I'm saying, to do the same thing like as far as like the Brock Purdy or the Sam Darnold thing. It's like, can you keep us competitive? Like
But how do you have that kind of expectation for somebody coming off an injury that's basically gonna be in his first year?
Just like you have a quarterback that only played 3 games,
he was a first round
and
draft pick.
just like you had another quarterback that only played 3 games, and he's going into his legit kind of first year full starter.
Who only played 3 games and going into their first year is legit?
Penix,
Penix wasn't
But
injured though.
yeah, but
yeah,
Penix
Penix
but he,
Penix
also
had a
has
Penix had a over Penix had an overpaid starter in front of him. That was a management
yeah,
decision, not the player's
and
decision.
Penix was also practicing and got some time. Even though it was only 3 games, he got some time to
but
figure out
still, like
rapport and all that. But
before
JJ
JJ
is
got
starting
hurt,
from scratch.
before JJ got hurt though, even when they drafted Penix, even when they started doing the training camp and stuff, it was like it was more evident that Penix was better than Kirk Cousins and JJ was better than Sam Darnold also at the
But
time.
you invested. What was the money? What was the money on Cousins? You wasn't gonna put that money on a bench. You had to put that money
Yeah,
on the field.
right,
That wasn't, no matter how good he was. You had to put that money on the.
right,
Your management had it,
right.
or else y'all would have looked like the Browns.
I think. I think Caleb has to be the breakout, right? Yes. Thank you. You too.
Mm,
Like
you
I would
think
think it
so?
would have to be Caleb, right? You getting Ben Johnson in there. You know what I mean? You Adunze
Agreed.
year two. They got Luther Burden.
Agreed.
Is
So
the
like
Bears gonna be actually do y'all feel the Bears gonna actually be a 10+ win team this year?
I think that they could be. It wouldn't shock me. I probably got them closer to 8 and 9, 9 and 8. It wouldn't surprise me.
Don't they have a top five easy schedule?
So could y'all say would it surprise you if they win the
Yeah.
division this year?
I mean, I got Green Bay in the driver's seat right now. Like it's one thing when you have to replace a coordinator, when you got to replace both of them.
You don't feel like Green Bay defense is not as good, or you feel like the Bears defense is not as good as the Green Bay defense?
I think the Bears defense is better than Green Bay.
That's why I
I
would
think
have
the
that. That's why I would have
I
them
think
winning their division.
I think the Bears just have more questions because as much as I like Ben Johnson, but he is a first time head coach. You know, um, we got to see what that looks like. What is the fit with him and Caleb? We don't know.
Man, I think Chicago gonna be. I think Chicago's gonna be so fun to watch this year, bro. That's just me though.
You think they can win the division?
Green Bay gonna take a step back. Minnesota has a brand new quarterback who, like y'all said, tore up his leg last year. You know what I'm saying, his knee or whatever. I mean, I feel like Detroit is definitely gonna take a step back. They lost both of their main coordinators, and I'm not gonna say that Dan Campbell's not an X's and O's guy, but he strikes me more of a Mike Tomlin type. And you know, I think, yeah, I think Chicago, they're the only ones who's coming back with continuity. You know what I'm saying? So I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
So Chicago by default is Chicago by default is what you basically say.
All right. Here's one for you,
I think
Cups.
they've gotten better.
Here's one for you, Cups. Chicago or Seattle?
Mm,
I take
hmm.
Chicago over Seattle, but I like Mike McDonald. I do like Seattle, I do, but I like the Bears defense. That's the crazy thing.
Gotcha.
I like, bruh. Only way I'll say I like Seattle is if is if Milrose playing. But the same Sam Darnold we saw in the playoffs during the headlight, Sam Darnold. That's the same Sam Darnold that they're gonna get in the
They
season
got Matt
opener.
Flynn, bro. They got Matt Flynn all over again.
So what we doing with Arizona?
I got the Cardinals actually taking a step up, bro. I told you, like
All right, cool.
they underrated. They gonna be
Yeah,
they gonna be a
I think so too. I think I was a year too early because that's what I thought
Yeah, where the
about them
ball at?
last year.
they really gonna be a problem in their division, bro.
Don't they have a top
So
10 easy schedule?
the top what?
Top 10 easy schedule.
I'm sure they do. So at the, so at so week 12. Who's the starter for the Giants?
That's tough.
Crab
I'm
legs.
I personally
Because Russ
I
will be
personally gonna
injured.
say I personally gonna say I think they have Russ for the whole year. We don't see Jackson Dart till next year, bro. If the Giants are smart, you don't see him till next year. I know Brian Dable probably will want him to start too, but
That's
they
another
ride
dude
Russ
fighting
for the
for his
year.
job.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they ride with Russ for the year, bro. They just want that he's going to develop. He's not Brian Dable's not going nowhere. Brian Dable's not going nowhere. Trust and believe. the GM is gonna be gone. The GM straight.
What
He
if
gonna
they
be
what if
gone.
they go 5-12?
D- Dart is gonna be the quarterback next year. Everything is set up for him to be. If they do it right, bro, like they should, Dart stay on the bench. Let Russ run it for the year. Just learn. You know what I'm saying? Then we'll give you the keys next year, bro.
But if
Russ
they
gonna
go
be
five
out.
and
Russ gonna be out by. Russ gonna be out by 4 with a hamstring.
but if they go 5-12, you think they still keep in Dayball?
Yeah, bro. Dayball, it's gonna be Dayball and Dart, bro. Dayball got his quarterback.
All right.
They go 5-12. The Mara's clean house. The GM go, coach go. They gonna get the next hot thing. At least they think gonna be the next hot thing, and he gonna get like Coach Parcell used to say, he gonna get a bag of groceries full of shit and be told to make potato salad with no raisins.
All right. So what
But
we doing with the
he's not gonna
Raiders?
be there at the 5-12.
I think the Raiders be
What are we
competitive,
doing with
bro.
the
I
Raiders?
actually think they make the like I said, the Chiefs missing the playoffs. So it's gonna be between the Chargers and Raiders in that division, bro.
All right. So I'm assuming that you got Naptown finishing in first.
You goddamn
Who's
right.
finishing? Who's finishing in second?
Probably the Titans. It's gonna be between Titans and Jags. I think Houston take the step back because um, CJ's not healthy, and I'm not sure that he's gonna he's gonna have an actual slump. Cam Ward is gonna be sweet, and he's actually gonna have the Titans a real problem. In Jacksonville, they're gonna be a problem just because Travis Hunter is they got Travis Hunter. Trevor Lawrence is in a big year also too, so it's do or die for him
Yeah,
regardless.
for sure. All right. On
I do
that
want to
note,
my bad. I do want to go back and make a quick final comment. Y'all was talking about Seattle. I just wanted to finish my thought. Like I said, man, I feel like the Sam Darnold that they get that they had in the playoffs. That's gonna be him in the season opener, and I think that Jalen Milroe will be playing. We've heard projections about Shador might be coming in October November. I think Jalen Milroe's gonna be in that thing like week 4, week 5.
Sheesh, you think so for real?
I know that I know that 2-5 been seeing reports, that Darnold's the unquestionable starter and things like that, but you know, running around in shorts is different than running around in pads, and especially playing in the NFC West, dog. Matter of fact, I know 2-5 can't look it up, so I'm gonna look it up real quick. I just want to see Seattle's
The
opening.
Kyler Murray Jalen Milroe show would probably definitely be sweet as a bitch.
All right, so the Seahawks are opening up their season. Yeah, give me a break. Uh, let me just make sure. Okay, so at home against 49ers, season opener. Then hold on, I'm trying. How the
Hey,
fuck I make this go
all
away?
I'm saying is put it on your ledger.
I'm trying to make this shit go away. How the fuck do I make it go away? Okay, here we go. My bad, my phone's being stupid. All right, here we go. Week 1, 49ers, like I said. Week 2, at Steelers. Week 3, home against the Saints. Week 4, at Cardinals. They only win in maybe one of those games. Maybe they might beat the Saints. They might beat the Saints. So that's all I'm saying. How you feel about that, Joe Knapp?
I like that, bro. I do, bro. Kyler Murray, Jalen Monroe in that division with Brock Purdy and Matt Stafford right now, two pocket quarterback and two dual threat quarterbacks.
I don't know, man. We gonna have to pick this joint back up for the motherfucking Thursday rally. Goddamn, how y'all feeling tonight, fellas?
You know I'm here alive and well, but
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, y'all
I
already
don't
know,
know, man.
man.
That finals game gonna be awfully exciting. I might be too distracted.
true shit, true shit, true shit. The finals do come on tonight.
I thought they were delaying that joint for.
I ain't hear nothing.
They need to just go ahead and delay the whole series and just give it to Oklahoma City instead of wasting 4 nights of my time watching them go to Siakam and Halliburton with his ugly ass shot, only to average
That's
40% from the field.
Indian six, y'all heard it.
yeah,
Want
man.
to put a
Pacers
dollar
in
on that?
six, dog. But like I was saying, man,
Want to put a dollar on that? I bet both of y'all a dollar. You
I
call
put
it
a
in
dollar they
six.
doing in six.
You
Yeah,
call it in.
yeah.
You got a dollar. You got a dollar.
Lock me in.
So y'all going with the Pacers? Y'all going with the Pacers in six?
Yeah, it's Nap Nation till I
Dollar,
die, baby.
dollar a piece.
Lock me in the
All
ledger.
right, bet.
I'm gonna put
All
it. I'm gonna
right,
put it in the chat. I'm gonna put it in the chat.
a whole dollar. I don't want pennies. I don't want dimes.
Hey, look, I
I don't
got
want
you,
no
big dog.
Bitcoin dollar either.
So like I
So you
said,
gonna owe
man,
me
I'm
two.
Styrofoam Ralph.
You gonna owe me
Oh
two.
yeah. He said, "Don't forget them." Hey, look, I ain't going missing. You know what I'm saying? I'm Styrofoam Ralph. This been Cups in the Gang live from the motherfucking hot box, man. This has been the Thursday lunch box. You already know I got the gang with me, man. Still Curtin Unk representing live in the motherfucking building. And you know I got my dog Bleed Blue for the shoe. Lethal in the motherfucking building. Nap Nation, what it do? My dog Indian Six. You already know my dog, man. You already know it. You can catch us again tonight, possibly for the rally. Same time, same place, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the hot box every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Look, man, we rolling the windows down. We're letting the smoke out. But above all else,
Fuck Aaron
fuck Aaron
Rodgers.
Rodgers,
Fuck Kevin Durant.
fuck Kevin Durant, and fuck Rudy Gobert, dog. You know what I'm
Rudy
saying?
Chamberlain.
Like I said, man,
Rudy
catch,
Chamberlain. Rudy
man, fuck
Chamberlain.
Rudy Chamberlain. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, like I
Cowboy.
said, man, catch us
Cowboy
again
Mike.
tonight.
Cowboy Mike say Rudy Chamberlain. His name Rudy Chamberlain.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
Oh yeah, and we throwing the foes up. And we throwing the foes up. You know what I'm saying, dog? Y'all already know, man. Catch us again tonight. Love y'all so much, man. Smoke with us next time.